Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am sharing my AWS EC2 journey from understanding the basics to actually launching an EC2 instance. If you are a beginner, this guide will make EC2 super simple and easy to follow. By the end of this video, you will have your own EC2 instance up and running in AWS. So let's get started. So what we are going to study today. So what first of all, what is AWS2? Then core concepts that you need to learn. Then step-by-step guide how to launch an instance. Then how you can connect to your instance and managing your instance lifecycle. Then understanding the EC2 pricing, how you can save money, right? So let's first see what is AWS EC2 instance. So EC2 instance is I think of EC2 as a renting a virtual computer in the cloud. Instead of buying and maintaining my own physical servers, I can launch a virtual server on the cloud on AWS in just few minutes. Here is the simple analogy that I use. It is like having a computer that I can access from anywhere in the world. I get to choose its operating system like Linux or Windows, how much processing power means the CPU it has, and how much memory and how much storage it needs. The elastic part means I can easily scale it up or scale it down depending on the my needs. If I need more power, I can get a bigger instance. If I don't need it anymore, then I can just turn it off and stop paying for it. Then core concepts of EC2 that you need to learn. So when I first started, there were few key terms I had to get familiar with. Here is my breakdown of the most important ones. The first is instance. This is a virtual server itself. It is the core component of EC2. I can have many instances running at the same time. Then comes Amazon machine image. I see this as a template for my instance. It is a pre-built configured package that includes the operating system like Ubuntu or Windows and any additional software that I want to start with. I can use the public AMIs provided by the AWS or create my own custom ones also. Then comes the instance types. This is how I choose the hardware for my instance. AWS offers a huge variety of instance type, each optimized for different tasks, like for general purpose, compute organized, memory optimized, etc. etc. I pick one based on the CPU memory, storage, and networking capacity my application needs. For example, for a small personal website, I use T2 Micro or T3 Micro, which is a part of the free tier account. Then comes security groups. This is a crucial one. A security group acts as a virtual firewall for my instance. It controls what traffic is allowed to come in and go out. I have to explicitly open the ports for the services like I want to be accessible. Then, for example, to access a web server, I open the port number 80, which is the HTTP, and 443, which is for HTTPS. For SSH access to a Linux instance, I open port 22. Then comes key pair. This is how I securely connect to my instances. It consists of a public key, which is with AWS, and a private key, which I download and keep it with me safely. I cannot connect to my instance without the private key, so I make sure never to lose it. Then comes Elastic Block Store. I think of EBS as a virtual hard drive for my EC2 instance. It is where the operating system is installed and where I store my files. These volumes are persistent, meaning the data remains even if I stop and start the instance. Then comes Elastic IP addresses. By default, the IP address of my instance changes every time when I stop or start the instance. An Elastic IP is a static public IP address that I can associate with my instance. This is useful if I need a fixed address that doesn't change, like for a web server. So let's do it practically, how we can do it with the Amazon AWS. So come to the AWS Cloud Console, come on the EC2 and choose a region. I select the region, AWS region, where I want my instance to be located. I usually pick up the one closest to my users to reduce latency. Then I click on this launch instance button. Okay. Then name your instance whatever you want, like uh, first instance. Okay. Then choose AMI. I select the Amazon machine image. For most of my projects, I start with the latest Amazon Linux or Ubuntu server AMI. Okay, choose this. Then choose an instance type. Uh, I select the hardware, the T2 Micro. T2 Micro is my go-to for testing since it's eligible for the AWS free trial. Then comes a key pair. You can select your existing key pairs also, or you can create new key pair. This is a critical step. I either choose an existing key pair that I have used before or create new one. If I create a new one, I immediately download the PEM file. Right, can first instance key. Choose this and a PEM which will be used to connect to SSH. Create a key pair and it will be immediately downloaded automatically. Okay. Then comes network settings, means security groups. I usually leave the VPC and subnet settings as default for simple projects. For the security group, I create a new one. Okay, I make sure to allow SSH traffic on port 22, which you can do here also. Then if port 22 for SSH from my own IP address for the security. If it is a web server, then I also add rules for the HTTP and HTTPS. Okay. Then configuration of storage, I stick with the default EBS volume size, which is usually 8 GB for basic setups. I can always increase this later if I need it. Okay. Then just review the things. Okay. And just click on the launch instance button. My instance usually up and running within a minute. It will be in the pending status. Okay. Just refresh it. Now my instance is running. So how to connect to my instance? How I can connect to my instance? So connecting to my instance depends on the operating system. So we have selected Ubuntu. Okay. So I'll just open Ubuntu terminal here and I'll locate my install key pair file, PEM file. So here I will need to locate my key pair file. CP. First instance key. Okay, what was that? First instance key. Okay, .pem. Okay, so you can see that my key file is there. So now you just have to set the permission. Okay, on Mac or Linux terminal, I run this command chmod to set the permission of my key pair file. This is required step to make the key not publicly viewable. Okay, then you just have to copy this SSH command to connect your instance like this way. You have to write yes and you will be connected. Okay. Now instance life cycle. I can control the state of my instance directly from the EC2 console from here. You will see your running instances, and here is the you can manage your instance lifecycle from here. You can start the instance, you can stop the instance. Stop the instance means it shuts down the instance. I'm not charged for the instance usage while it is stocked, but I still pay for the attached EBS storage. This is great for the instances that I don't need running 24 by 7. Then reboot instance, which just basically restarts the instance. And then terminate instance. This is a permanent action. It deletes the instance and its root EBS volume. I make sure to back up my data and I need before terminating an instance. Okay. Then comes EC2 pricing. AWS pricing can be complex, but for the EC2, I focus on the this main models. Like first is on demand. This is the default. I pay for the compute capacity by the hour, or second with no long-term commitments. It is flexible but also the most expensive. I use this for the applications with unpredictable workloads. Okay. Then comes reserved instances. If I know that I'll be running an instance for a long period, like 1 or 3 years, I can reserve it. This gives me a significant discount compared to an on-demand pricing. Okay. Then comes the saving plans. This is familiar to similar to reserved instances, but more flexible. I commit to a certain amount of compute storage, like dollar per hour for 1 or 3 year term, and I get a discount. This discount applies automatically across different instance types and even regions. Then comes a sport instances. This is my favorite for non-critical tasks. I can bid on unused EC2 capacity, which can provide massive savings up to 90% of on-demand prices. Okay? The catch is that AWS can reclaim the instance with 2-minute warning if they need the capacity back. I use this for the things like data processing or testing that can be interrupted. That's it. Now you know how to launch, connect, and manage your own EC2 instance on the AWS. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon. Okay, so you don't miss out any future content. In the next video, I'll be covering S3 service, one of the most powerful and widely used storage services on the AWS. Trust me, you would not want to miss it. Thanks for watching.